Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Junkin' with Junior. Got a little project today. Got my buddy's Kawasaki Teryx here, and he wants to be able to have this little utility rack on the back for hauling stuff around the farm, you know, saws, ropes, whatever. He's doing some tree work, anything he needs to throw back here, but we've got to make it a little more practical. So the way the hitch is made, it's got it tucked way up under the bed here, so we're going to cut that lower tube off, get this back where it needs to be, and we're going to raise it up a little bit too to try to get it more flush with the bottom. Not that it has to be, just going to look a little better that way, we think. So just a little bit of cleaning up, a little bit of cutting, welding, we're going to make it happen. All right, so we got our tube cut. It's way too long. As you can see, we're gonna figure out exactly where it needs to go. Then I'm gonna mark it and cut it off. But we went ahead and drilled our hole in there for the pin. And this tube is actually the exact same size as the old one that we had cut off. And it does this when you just put a standard hitch pin in there. And that kind of stuff drives me crazy. So I actually stole this out of an old deal that I'm not using anymore. It's an anti-rattle kit. So this is gonna slide in this yellow tube. And then this now becomes the pin, which is actually a bolt, and they turn down the threads out here so there is none, and this will go in there and thread into that nut, and this is springy so it holds it inside the square tube in place so it doesn't fall out, and it pulls this whole assembly against one side. Let me show you here in just a sec. So like I say, that nut's inside there, this tightens it up, and it pulls the whole assembly against this side of the female receiver there. Solid, no more rattle, shaking, wiggling around. Looks nice and tight and right when we do it that way. Went ahead and tightened this up with our anti-rattle kit for, you know, one more time just to make sure that everything's preloaded in the way it's going to be. And we also let it sag down, so when you do have a load on the basket, there is that gap there, but gravity's always going to be on its side to hold that in place. Got this all tacked in on 4 corners. So as you know, we're working with a little Miller 140, which is a 110 power. Not the most powerful welder by any means, but it's really handy and does a lot of things that I need it to do. When I need the welder to be a little bit bigger, we're gonna cheat. A little bit of propane here, and we're gonna preheat all this so that the welder doesn't have to do as much work to get that cold steel up to, you know, melted welding temperature. So it only have to do about half the work, and it's gonna give us a lot better penetration that way. So just a little trick, but it goes a long ways. So you can see that by preheating that, the welder did not have to work nowhere near as hard. It sounded really nice when it welded. We got great penetration. I walked it back and forth just a little bit so that it builds up the materials to make it a little bit stronger. We don't have to worry about that thing going anywhere. So let's heat up the other 3 sides and finish this dude off. Pretty good looking weld for having such a small welder. That's some thick steel that welder is definitely not designed for. That thing's kind of made for like sheet metal purposes. We're way beyond the capacity of the welder, but that just shows you how you can put some heat in that metal first, and you really get some good penetration. You can even see where it started to pull some of that steel down where we've got so much heat in it. But simple little trick, how to make a small welder a big one, you know, when you don't have a big electricity service in your shop or a big welder. So after I got the 2 square tubes all welded together, I thought, man, I don't think there's ever going to be a big enough load in here to break any of that or this previous weld that somebody else had done. But why not just add a couple little gussets? I think it looks cooler, definitely going to make it a lot stronger, and then we never have to worry about this thing at all. So time to let her cool off. We'll get a little bit of paint on this thing and it'll be ready to haul. There you have it, folks. Quick and easy little project there. Not too long a one today, but we took something that was completely impractical because it was so far up under there because of the previous tubes that were welded on it, and we made it practical where it's usable again. So it looks pretty good. We got it nice and flush. You don't have to worry about stuff scratching the body when you put it in there, and it's got the ledge to catch it all. And you know, got her nice and squared up. Turned out pretty good. I'm satisfied with it. Thanks for watching Junko of Junior. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button so you'll continue to see more videos in the future as we put them up. Thanks again, folks, and we will see you next time.